Hello. Okay. Last episode was, it was, I imagine, not a great watch. I was going through a real bad couple of days. It doesn't get any easier, but you cope in different ways. The ups and the downs. We'll get straight on to, we're going to do things a bit different now. Okay. I think people are going to slowly, quickly get quite bored of the self-pitying angle. And look, there's going to be bits of that. There's going to be bits of that going down the line, especially when we head towards saying goodbye at the end of February. But there'll be other times for that. But we're going to do things a bit differently now, and you'll see. Okay, and even going forward, there's a couple of guests I've got lined up, and my story is not fucked up. It's not. In the whole scheme, it's just a sad story. It's a bit tragic, but it's not. It's not out there. It's really not. Um, so we're going to hopefully get a couple of guests on because one of them, their story is just, it could be a Hollywood movie, but we'll spoil you with that a bit closer to the time. So we're going to keep it light-hearted. Got a load of new ideas, what I want to do. The feedback since making this public a couple of days ago, some of you have reached out to me, and I just wanted to tell you how much that really, really, really meant. It's been quite brilliant. Apart from one individual who is a member of my family, who quote unquote 1-star review, I found your self-loathing and pitying nauseous. That's a direct quote, so I'm going to put that on the DVD at the front of the DVD. 1-star. I found your self-pitying sickening. Was actually another thing that individual said. That was quite funny, actually. I quite like that. Okay, I remember. So I'd been trouble before, guys. So we're going back about 9.5 years when I was in London. Head chef of a restaurant in Islington, and I've been dating this Polish girl, and she was beautiful, like absolutely stunning, and she looked like Cara Delevingne. I was just like, and we'd been on about 4 or 5 dates, but it was coming to that 4 or 5 date barrier where she wasn't interested, and it was becoming pretty clear. So I went up to one of my chefs, a Polish lady. She was married with kids. I thought, okay, well, this is quite a unique angle, she could give me basically, and where I might have gone wrong or where I am going wrong. And I went, can I have a word? It was just like, look, I'm dating this Polish girl, yada, yada, yada. And he says, Stephen, Polish women, they don't like men like you. They want a strong ox who looks after the family. Big man, a strong man. You cannot show emotion in front of us. It is a sign of weakness, no? I am so sorry for doing that voice. That's either going to sound like Borat or, Vladimir Putin. That doesn't. I apologize if she's listening. But yeah, that's always resonated with me. Um, that's always resonated with me. Like, Polish women do not like emotional guys. I've just noticed a glare in here, by the way. I'm going to wipe my camera. Give me 1 sec. If you see my nipple when I do this, I do apologise. I'm getting a bit of glare. Why is that glare happening? I'm going to move the camera. No, glare's still there. Okay, we'll fix that next time. The production value of these, meh, we haven't had a bank loan yet for the studio, so we'll see. And I notice when I lift my cup of tea up, you see that? You see that? There's a ghost. Shouldn't be happening. Who gives a shit? Clearly, it's getting to me. And so yeah, that's always stayed with me, resonated with me. You need to be strong, man. You need to, you have big arms, you know. Can you move the sofa on your own? And I never saw that girl again, the Polish girl again. Um, but yeah, that was a fun one. That's not one of the funny stories. We're going straight in. Real close friends of mine, even work colleagues over the years, have probably been at some point been told this story. It's my go-to. It's my go-to story. Please don't feel sorry for me about this story because I've dined out on this story for 12 years and I have made so many people laugh and squirm with this story. But it's a great story, and if there ever is a lesson in life, however bad a situation might seem at the time, you might laugh at some point in the future. So I'm going to move my camera one more time. I am sorry. I hope you're not getting seasickness. So yeah, and this is definitely one of those moments. It wasn't funny in the day, and it wasn't funny the day after, but it was funny pretty much immediately after that, and I've dined out on it ever since, and it's great. I've even told this on stage, and it got a really good reaction. So, I was dating a girl called Rachel in Manchester for about 6-7 months. This is one of those relationships. Well, it wasn't a relationship. We were dating for about 6-7 months. We were never boyfriend girlfriend. Okay, like, I'm going to make that very clear. We were never boyfriend girlfriend, but it was a rebound. It was a rebound after quite a toxic relationship, and this is why, speaking to myself now, one must not make immediate stupid decisions while still grieving or hurting or straight after a relationship. Because there were so many red flags. So many red flags. And one of them was she had a heavy drink problem and a drug problem and a hygiene problem. We're not going to go into that now. And that's why we're not going to give names or anything like that because it's not fair. They don't have the right to reply. But that's not what solely this is about. And basically, a few days before my 30th birthday, I'm going to say that again, my 30th birthday, Frio, the big Frio, balloons, canapes, the big Frio. And we had agreed, and I remember the day clearly, it was a Friday, the 15th of April. It was landing on a Friday. And she was a manager or a supervisor of a bar in Manchester, a very well-known bar. It's not there anymore, but a very well-known bar. And we agreed she had work on the Thursday and she had to do a staff meeting in the early evening. But after the staff meeting on the Thursday, the 14th, she would come over to mine and would have some drinks. And then on the Friday, we'd go out, have a day. But early evening, we were going to meet the family. And it was going to be the first time she was going to meet the family. And I'm talking everyone, you know, brother, mum, dad, brothers, sisters, partners, the whole shebang. And we were going to go for a meal. All right. And she was cool. It was totally on board. And then about, not quite uncommon with Rachel, she, about 7:30, 8 o'clock on the Thursday, I get a text saying, look, do you mind if I go out for some drinks with the guys? I'm going to sit back a little bit. The glare seems to get a bit better there. I'm going to go out some drinks with the guys. I hope you don't mind. I was like, yeah, it's cool. It's all cool. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you what, you go out, have a good night. Just come over in the morning. Done. I'll be over around 9 o'clock. Fantastic. I go to bed, and it's one of these situations, if you've ever been like student house shares, something along the lines of where you've got like two houses and everyone's friends with each house, and literally you leave your back door open and it's literally a walk in the house policy. It was very like that. Sounds like the 50s, but this was Withington, Manchester, South Manchester. And about 9 o'clock comes, 9:30 comes. I went, you know what? I'll just pop over because it's Rachel, you know, she already got pissed last night. I'll go and wake her up. And I now I walk in and she's like on the second floor of this 5-story townhouse. And we're going to pause it there. In life, you try and second guess yourself on how you'd react and how you'd behave to certain situations. I'll give you some examples. I've always said, if I was ever like, what is it, subscription to go to war where you're forced to go? Is it subscription? I'm not sure. But you're forced to go to war. I would probably be a deserter. I would run. There you go. I'm a coward. I would be a deserter. Another one would be, if I ever got sent to prison for any substantial amount of time, I'd probably kill myself. I probably would kill myself. So you try and second guess how you'd behave in certain situations. So I'm walking up the stairs, it's about 9:30, and I open her bedroom door. This is the morning of my 30th birthday. Happy birthday to me. It's the morning of my 30th birthday, and I walk into the bedroom, and she is on top of another guy. She's on top of another guy. Now, going back to second guessing your behaviors and how you think, how would you react in that situation, walking in, finding your partner, your loved one, or somebody you like on top of another guy or girl? I always thought I was the kind of guy who would slowly like tiptoe out of the room, go downstairs, boil a kettle, come back into the room and throw boiling water over him. I always thought I was that kind of guy. Turns out, I'm going to move the camera again, this glare is really annoying me. It turns out I'm not that kind of a guy. I went down the camp comedy route and I did jazz hands and I went, happy birthday! I promise you that's what I did. I then go home and obviously I'm distraught. It's ruined my birthday. That's not what the punchline, and that's not where the story ends. The story ends at around 3:30 that afternoon. I get a text off Rachel and it simply says, what time are we meeting your parents? That is a true story. 30th birthday. What time are we meeting your parents? We're not meeting our parents. We're not meeting them. No food for you. No. Yeah, that was brutal. But I've dined out on that story ever since. Was that an anticlimax? I think that's a great story. I love that story. Not at the time. Okay, I'm going to give you a bad date. Oof, bad date story. Sorry, I've just got back from a run. I maybe should have waited an hour to do this. I did have a shower though. I'm not that dirty. I had a shower to do this. You see, I want to be presentable for you guys and girls. A bad date. I've only been on in my life about 4 Tinder dates. 4 Tinder dates. And I've got to say, by the way, never a bad one. Never a bad date. And also another one, I was always concerned, well, if a photo's real, you're always going to put your best impression out there. The weird one for me, and I'm sure it's different for everybody, every date I went on from Tinder, they looked better in person than they did on my photos on Tinder. Crazy. Anyway, this was a Tinder date, and I'd met this girl. Here's a cocktail for you. She was half Ugandan and half Ukrainian. Firstly, 2 countries beginning with the letter U. That's mental. And she was a lawyer for Barclays Bank in London. And that is important of where this is going to go. And we were on a first date and it was absolutely brilliant. Had a kiss, had a grope. Went great. Second date went really, really well. Really, really well. Third date, fantastic. And it's going great. It's going great. Now, between the third and the fourth date, she raises a concern to me. And her concern is because obviously her father's family are from Uganda. And again, this isn't a slant on Uganda at all. That obviously I come from a traditional family background. I'm concerned about the pay grade. Why do I do it? Can you see that, guys? When I put my hand up there, it's like a shadow of my hand on the screen. Hmm. Huh. It's like Interstellar, if you've ever seen that movie. That's crazy. We're going to have to get that fixed. It's ruining my flow. Anyway, no hand movements. And she raised concerns, look, the pay gap between us. You know, you're a chef. I wasn't a head chef then. You're just a chef and I'm a lawyer for Barclays Bank. And she raised these concerns and says, look, if we're going to go any further with this, she didn't credit check me, by the way. She didn't ask for my any references from former landlords or anything. But, you know, I need a certain amount of assurances from you, you know. I would have been, what, 32 then? And she would have been about 32. And, you know, I get it. I get it. You know, at that age, I imagine you're just looking to settle down, get married, mortgage, all that bollocks. And so I get it. So I said, well, look, let's talk about this next time. So the fourth date, I had this whole spiel, my whole pitch. You know, I literally pitched about my next 4-year, 5-year plan, where I was going. And and basically to give her some assurances about everything, my financial security. And basically, we went on a date. And I remember a restaurant, a lot of people have probably been there, Mildred's in Soho, a vegetarian restaurant. It's unbelievable. Even if you, and I'm not strictly vegetarian, but it is still one of my favourite restaurants. I don't want to be controversial because I know they've been in the news recently. I think it was even slightly better than Greens in Didsbury. It was, and that's not a slant on Greens in Didsbury, by the way. Former Greens in Didsbury. Rest in peace. But it's outstanding. So if you're ever in Soho, or you're vegetarian, or you just want a really good meal, go to Mildred's. I think they've even got a second site near King's Cross now. So it shows you, I know my shit. So the deal was I was going to wine and dine her and reassure her. And I did the spiel. It went great. She was lapping it up. You know, oh, she was like, oh, brilliant, fantastic. Oh, thank you. You know, I'm so sorry again about having these concerns, but it's important. Relax. I get it. Relax. It's my bad, not your bad. It's my bad. We have the food. When it comes to the bill, you couldn't make this up. You know where this is going. You know where this is going, guys. And I was like, Bill. And she goes to put, you know, we're going Dutch. Is Dutch mean 50-50? I don't know. But we usually go, people usually, you know, modern. But I didn't. I wanted to emphasize the point of my financial security. So I slid her hand away. I've got this. This is my treat today. Oh, thank you. And the waiter comes over and I put my card in the machine and it says declined. And even at that point, I thought it's just been a mistake. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. So I put it in again. Declined again. I tried another card. Declined. And her face, I remember it. A guy laughed out. Her eyes just glared. Just glared. Just, ugh. Oh, God, I'm getting douche chills just thinking about that. She paid for the meal. She paid for it all. You think I got another date? Nope. That one was over. That was over. It was done. It was done. There was no dates with that lawyer from Barclays after that. That was done. So yeah, there you go. 30th birthday, and credit checked on dates, and your card declining on a date. Very, very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. If I told you I've got about 100 of those, would you all promise me to hit that like button and subscribe? Because let's be honest, I need to dine out. I need to haul myself out now. You know, when you're sharing my rent, life's okay, but now obviously in the next few months it's going to get tough, and I'm going to need all the help I can get. Thank you. It's just down there apparently. The like button. Where's my? It's just down there. Just hit it. Okay. And yeah, we're going to tell more stories like that at some point in the future. Okay. It's 21 minutes already. Jesus. Okay. And that's about it. I'm going to save. I didn't realize we were on 21 minutes already. I'm going to go. Things are still difficult. Obviously, here we're being adults. The sister's actually staying with us for 4 days at the moment, and also you don't want to make it awkward for them as well. So I'm having to, like, you know, cry watch. Yeah, maybe the odd singular tear, but certainly no violent vibrations of cheeks the last 48 hours. So progress. We have 25 nights, 25 mornings left. 25 times she'll be the last thing I see every day, and 25 more times she'll be the first thing I see every morning. I've got to get ready for that. Anyway, till next time, guys. Thank you.